minimum number of changes to make binary string beautiful. So we have a binary string, which means 0 and 1. And there is this concept where a string is beautiful if we can partition it into one or multiple substrings, where each substring has an even length, and each one has either 1 or zeros. Okay, so here, pay attention here. It says this is a common mistake when reading this problem, is to think that we need like an even partition where to the left we have maybe ones and to the right zeros, or vice versa. That's not the case here. It's one or multiple, which means it can be 2, 3, 4, 5, and it doesn't have to be alternating between 0 and 1s. Each substring has to be is either even length and contains only 1s or only zeros. Okay, so that's the idea of a beautiful string. And now what's the goal of the problem? We want this property. We want to divide into multiple substring with this property. In some cases we may not be able to. So for example, if you have 0, 0, 0, 1. Well, in this case, we could partition here, but then we are stuck. What should we do with this one? We can't make it even with only one character. And so we'd have to change one of them. And so we can change this one to 1, or change this one to 0 and keep the other one as 0. Whichever one works, but it would be changing one character. So in some cases we need to change a character or multiple to get this, to get the entire string to be partitioned into beautiful strings. And what the problem asks us to do is to return the minimum number of changes that we need to do, such that we can partition it with this property. Okay, so that's the idea. If we take a look at an example here with this 1, 0, 0, 1, well, we have to change at least 2, because let's say we divide this, then we have to change this one to 1 and this one to 0, so 2. You can think of it, maybe we can make the entire thing 4 zeros, which is even length and same character. So let's change this to 0, change this to 0, still 2. So the minimum needs to be 2. So that's the idea. For this one, well, we only need to change either this one to 1 or this one to 0, and that should be enough, because the length will be 2, and then it would be the same character. So that's the idea. Here we don't need to change anything because it's already even, length 4, and it's already the same character 0, so nothing needs to change. So that's the idea. Now how do we tackle it? Well, the key thing is to really read the problem here, and notice that it says we just need one or more substrings, okay, to be beautiful, okay? And we need even length, okay, and we need ones only or zeros only, okay, for each of these partitions. Now the thing to think about is, if you have 4 zeros, well, this is a beautiful substring, but it's the same as having 0 and 0. Same thing if you had like this, maybe how much we have here, we have 8, right? So if this here, 8 ones, is the same as doing 4 pairs of 1, right? This is the same, okay? This partition is valid, right? So what I'm trying to get at, if we had 0, like 4 and then 1, 1, well, we can have 0, 0, 1, 1, okay? And so what I'm trying to get at is basically, we can simplify the problem and not think about like a block of length 2, of length 4, of length 6, of length 8. We can simplify the problem and just look at only pairs of 2. That should be enough, right? So now if we look at a pair of 2, it's either already a block of zeros, then nothing needs to change, or a block of 1s, then nothing needs to change. But if it's 0, 1 or 1, 0, then we know we need to increment our number of changes by 1, right? Now, if we take another example, let's say maybe it's the other thing that we need is string has an even length, so we don't need to worry about impossible cases that won't have a solution like this one. Okay, S already has an even length. So for example, if we take this one, we divide it into pairs of 2 because that's easier. Okay, so for this one, it's already good. We don't need to worry about it. For this one, we need to make at least one change. So we return 1. Now you may say, okay, what if it's alternating like this? Maybe 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. What should we do here? Well, again, here we take it in pairs. This one, no need to make any changes. This one, we need to make a change of value 1. This one, no changes. This one, a change of value 1. Okay? So the change can be turning this one here into 0, and then keeping this as 1, and turning this one into 0, right? So it can be alternating. It doesn't have to be a block of zeros and a block of ones, or block of 1 and a block of 0, right? So in this case, how many you need to change? Just 2. So return 2. Okay. So simplifying the problem here, we can solve it. And so let's just do that here. And we just need to go through the characters in pairwise order. So basically, we just need to check, have a step of 2. This in Python means basically we go from I equal to 0 to 2 to 4 to 6, right? And each time we'll just check the substring from I to I plus 1. In Python, you need I plus 2 to get I and I plus 1. Okay, so if you do this, we'll get the 2 characters. So each time we'll get 2 characters. Let me just show you that this is the case. We can do something like this, and then the length of the string is just length of s. Okay. Okay, so if you look at this, this does divide it into 1, 0 and 0, 1. Same thing here, 1, 0. If you take a look at this one, it does 1, 1, 0, 0, and then 0, 1, and then 1, 1. Okay. 1, 1. Okay, so this is all we need to get a block of ones, and then we can just check if we need to make any changes. So let's just have a variable here called changes. And the changes here will be minimal because we only change when we absolutely have to. Like in the case when we have 0, 1 or 1, 0. Okay, so here we need to just check if the sub is either 0, 1 or it's either 0, 1 or 1, 0, right? This is the only case we need to worry about. Now in this case, what we need to do is just increment changes by 1, because it doesn't matter which one we do. It doesn't matter if we put here 1 or change this one to 0, it doesn't matter. Both give us a value of 1 and give us a beautiful string. Now that looks good. Now just one thing to note here is that you could do it like this, but what is this? This basically means the 2 consecutive characters are different. So this can be just sub of I, s of I is different than s of I plus 1. That's the exact same thing. The first character in this substring is different than the second character. And so we can run this. Looks good. We can submit. And it gets accepted, okay? Now in terms of time complexity, this is pretty simple. This runs n divided by 2 times, so it's O(n) time. And then in terms of space, we only have this constant here, so it's O of 1 space. So O(n) time and O of 1 space. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for this problem. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.